Hi, welcome to the Roloff kitchen. Another night of fun. Fun in the kitchen with Roloff. We're going to
Well, it's fun anywhere with you.
You're so cute. We're going to make, this is Ron behind the camera and I'm Peggy, and we're going to switch it back and forth. We're going to make ginger chicken, one of our very favorites. It's a Vietnamese recipe that we learned from our friends Don and Hao Nguyen when they stayed with us. This is a regular type ginger, which you find at the store. It can be real gnarly in all sizes, and we're going to peel the rough skin off. At a Japanese store the other day, I found what's called young ginger. They say it's a little hotter. We're going to do a test and see. But it's almost wet looking and softer. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get Ron to
Okay, you need a little help peeling these gingers?
I sure do.
Okay, let me get after
Thanks.
this.
Okay. You peel it with
I just peel it with a knife, kind of skim over it, just like we used to peel up.
Can you say hi?
Hi, folks. This is having fun in the kitchen with Peggy, and I want to make it real clear she's fun other places too. Hi again.
Hi.
Well, we're still continuing with the ginger. I'm going to let Peg do the final cuts here on this. We got the ginger cleaned up a little bit, so now we're going to cut it just in strips.
I like to cut it in these little toothpick, or really matchstick sizes, because they stay kind of crunchy if you don't overcook them. And each side gets coated with a little bit of the crispness from the sautéing in the frying pan. And also, I will use a very heavy-duty frying pan. I like to use a cast iron. If you look at this, I like to use a cast iron skillet because it's heavy and it can get real hot. I can turn the heat on, and I use about a tablespoon of oil. Ron tried to figure out just how much that would cost to make this dinner. Now, I'll tell you one thing about this meal. This meal is going to be an exotic meal. It's a wonderful meal. It's a delicious meal. It's very inexpensive. We figured out for one chicken breast for the two of us, which is more than enough. We did two the other day, and it was way over the board. The part of ginger, the oil.
So all totals up less than $5.
Less than $5.
The most expensive part was the asparagus.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, next thing we're going to do is just to give it a little bit of a caramelizing, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. And that sort of caramelizes the ginger, and also will caramelize the chicken. Should we put this in? I'm going to have you watch the chicken in a minute. Let's just stick this in here. The cold chicken will bring the temperature of the pan down. So that's kind of a nice trick to know when you're cooking, with high heat.
Oh, that's a nice big one, isn't it?
Yeah, a nice big one. So you want the chicken to start getting white. It will start turning white where it touches the heat. You see that? So we want to cook it a little bit more. When it gets to just turning a nice little tender brown, which it's not there yet, and you see that the ginger isn't overcooked yet. Kind of like cooking with garlic. When you're cooking garlic, you don't want to cook it to brown. It changes the taste and the flavor. Ginger's kind of good that way, but we don't want to overdo it. You still want it to be crisp. Okay. So we're going to do this. I'm going to put a little tiny bit more sugar in here. So I've used less than a tablespoon of sugar on this, probably more like a teaspoon, but I'm not sure. I didn't measure. These recipes that we try to share with you are recipes that are not, they're not recipes that are written down, although I'm going to write down the ingredients. But the most is because it's mistake-free, you really can't make a big mistake. I'm going to cut the heat a little bit, so it will cook there. You want to come over and I'm going to show you on the asparagus. Okay, the asparagus I've washed off already. The best way to do asparagus is asparagus breaks easily at the point where it's going to be tough at the bottom. You don't want to come off too short.
Just drop the asparagus in here. Boy, look at that. It's nice and light. It's green. This really looks good. Now, how long do you think we need to cook the asparagus?
Well,
there's no heat on there yet.
Oh, you're going to turn the heat. Yeah, I would do it. I do it now. Probably 5 minutes or so. Turn the heat up, and you want to pour some water on it. Okay, now you've got the asparagus in there.
Okay, asparagus
it's bright green. What's the secret of keeping it bright green?
Okay, nice and green.
Okay, you just put the asparagus in. What else did you do to it?
Well, I poured a little water in there. Now, the secret to keeping it green, don't overcook it.
That's right.
So we're just going to...
You've got the fire kind of hot. That's good. And you're going to shake it around in there?
Yep, we're going to do that. We're going to put a lid on it.
velvet lid there. But you want to wait till it gets a little hotter, I
I
think.
think you need a
I
little
think you need a
more
little more water, too.
Right.
How's your chicken coming along? That's probably too much water, but that's okay.
Well, let's see. We'll check the chicken. Oh, this is just perfect now. I think it's ready for a little soy sauce. What do you think?
Okay? You want it to cook thoroughly, but you don't want it to overcook. So I'm going to use some of this. I'll put this on for you here, hon.
I could probably turn the heat up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, now that you don't have to worry about it. How about a little bit of salt?
Well,
I'd say probably a teaspoon of salt. Now, what should happen with this is the pieces of ginger and the pieces of chicken should start to turn nice and brown because of the soy sauce, but mainly of the sautéing in the... how's that? Okay, Henry, how's that coming along?
well, it looks like got everything going. Have a little salt on the asparagus. Let's put the lid on this puppy just for a few minutes.
Okay.
I'll turn it down just a touch.
Can we put a little more soy sauce in here?
Well, I think that's up to you. That's,
Let's a little sauce for the rice.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Boy, it's starting to look like real
Real food,
ginger
huh?
sauce.
Okay, good looking.
Looks perfect. I'm going to turn the meat off.
Okay.
It's ready.
Oh, I'm going to open up the rice. We used our rice cooker. This is the microwave rice cooker. Wow, that is just perfect. That's 20 minutes in the microwave with brown rice, the brown rice we love, and some wild rice, and it's done to perfection.
You know,
I don't measure, but we measure it. Remember, when you get the rice in there.
you know what I'm excited about? This meal, what we got going here, is $4.77, and it looks like we're going to have enough rice for lunch tomorrow.
Oh, we'll have rice for dinner tomorrow too.
So it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. Now, what I was going to say is this is our rice that is the wild rice and the jasmine brown rice. Look, we've got enough rice for a dozen people. So you have to cut the price of that down to more
I'm a little
too.
colorblind.
Ooh, that's bright green and that's beautiful. Yep. Ooh, as long as it stays bright green, it just looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Oh, that does look good. You have little squeezers?
Yeah, I sure do. Turn your heat off.
Okay. Ooh, tender.
Well, this is going to be more asparagus than either one of us need, but boy, let's eat every bit of it.
Well, it's a real treat.
It was one bunch, wasn't it?
Yes. I'm going to hog a little bit. I love this stuff.
Okay.
Okay, I think the chicken is just sweet.
You think you need a little more soy
I think
sauce?
we need a little more soy sauce.
Okay. Now, why would you want more soy sauce?
Well, that will be the sauce for the rice
And for the asparagus, too.
and for the asparagus.
Okay, sounds good. And if it's cooked, it's not cold, and it also changes the texture and the flavor just a little bit.
Rumble to it.
Ooh, that looks awfully
man,
good.
that looks
Okay.
good. Okay,
Let's see and serve that down.
Okay. Now,
I think
wanna
this could be
sure
awfully good.
I want to be sure I share this the sauce with you equally.
Well, make sure I get lots of ginger. That's what I love,
Okay,
that ginger.
get some
Now, if you haven't tried ginger, this is a good meal to start with. It's if you don't like it, you can pull it out. You still have the flavor, but I can't imagine anybody doing that. Look at that ginger. Doesn't that look wonderful? It's a treat that you just can't get anywhere without paying a fortune, let's say. So this is your meal. It's a beautiful meal.